Let's move on to talk about the types of mixed method design. So there are two main types. There are sequential design and concurrent design, right? The sequential design means that you are starting with one methodology and ending with the second methodology. Concurrent means that you are implementing the two methodologies at the same time or at the same period of time. Under sequential, we have three main types, and I'm going to go through the three main types. And also under concurrent, we have three main types. So let's start with sequential explanatory design. The term explanatory, this means that the qualitative approach is trying to explain the findings of the quantitative approach, right? So you start with the quantitative. You see that the quant is in caps. This means that quantitative will be the dominant approach, right? It's just like you have an intention to address your problem using a quantitative approach, right? So you start with the quantitative approach, and then based on the findings of the quantitative approach, you implement the qualitative approach. So you have to wait and collect data, analyze, and then make decisions about the qualitative approach, how you're going to implement it. It's quite different from the sequential exploratory design. For the sequential exploratory design, you start with qualitative, and you see that the qual is in caps. So this means that it's going to play a dominant role in your study, right? So you start with a qualitative approach, and then collect data, analyze, and then based on the findings, you continue with the quantitative approach. And let's go back a little bit and let me give you a little example, right? So let's say for this one, you first started the study by measuring the anxiety level of participants. And based on the findings, you decide, okay, I want to only focus on people who have higher level of anxiety and interview them to find out why they have higher levels. So you see how based on the findings of the quantitative portion, you'll be able to decide who do you want to talk to interview, which is quite different from the sequential exploratory design, where you start with the qualitative, and then based on the findings, you can develop an instrument and give out the instrument to a large number of people. So you see how the qualitative findings is informing the process. So it's sequential because you always have to wait to finish the first phase before you continue with the second phase. And we also have sequential transformative design. The word transformative is more of trying to improve the lives of participants. So this means that you as a researcher, you have an advocacy role. You have an intention of using your study to improve the lives of people or to solve the problem of a group of people. So you can either use the first approach, which is the sequential explanatory approach, or the second one, the sequential exploratory approach. But it becomes sequential transformative approach if you have an advocacy role, if you intend to do the research to improve the lives of participants. But you are starting with one methodology and ending with the second methodology. Let's go to concurrent. We have three types. The first one is concurrent triangulation design. So this means that you are collecting and analyzing qualitative and quantitative data at the same period of time, and then you move on to the analysis parts and you analyze both of them at the data analysis stage. So you see both of them are capped, so they have equal role. Both of them are playing a dominant role. They are playing equal role in the study. You normally use this one if you plan to look at an issue from two different methodological point of view. Let's say you are studying a specific phenomenon. You want to see what is the findings based on the quantitative approach? What is the findings based on the qualitative approach? What are the commonalities across these two findings? And that's what you're looking at. The next one is concurrent nested design. Nested means that one approach is inside the dominant approach, but it's concurrent because they happen at the same time. We call it qualitative, quantitative data at the same time. So most of the time, if you are doing a study and you know that the quantitative or the qualitative approach is addressing the bulk part of the phenomenon that you are studying, but The second approach is playing a small role or addressing a little or an aspect of the phenomenon. Then you can use a concurrent nested design. For the advocacy concurrent transformative design, the researcher is playing an advocacy role. This means that he's doing research to help to improve the lives of a group of people. But they can use concurrent triangulation design. They can use the concurrent nested design, right? At the end of the day, what makes this one different from the other two is the use of the findings to improve the lives of participants.